Some homeschools are just different. Welcome back to Making Everyday Magic. My name is Shauna, and if you are new here, we are a homeschooling family of 4. This is our 8th year of homeschooling, so I feel like I'm a little bit of, not an expert, but definitely not a novice in this topic of discussing with you today that some homeschools are different. Guys, before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic, and right down below, I will also have a link to this video's partner sponsor, which is Magic Mind. So Magic Mind has provided me with some mental performance shots. This is officially day 14, and I am hooked. I get a full serving of vitamin C, vitamin D, and several of the B vitamins, so I'm feeling really good. I've got energy. The taste is awesome. It's a little sweet. It's a little peppery, maybe like a ginger, like a little hint of ginger. I love it. I feel like I've got like an awesome calm focus going on. I've really been able to get a lot of things done. I feel like I'm firing on all cylinders. So Magic Mind has partnered with me to give you a special offer. I will link it right up here, and I will also have it right here. The code is magicmind.com, Shauna20. So be sure to check them out if you need just a little extra help, a little extra boost. They recommend it's not a quick fix, so you really do need to take their 7-day trial, or like me, 14 days. I love it. I love it. So check them out. Be sure to give them some love. Let them know that I sent you and get your special savings with my code, okay? Don't forget. Now, moving into today's video, I wanted to come here and I wanted to share with you, recently shared a reel which got a lot of play, feedback, hate, criticism, support. It's gone wild. So that led me into some of the feedback. Some of the hate was really wild. I was homeschooled and this kind of education is garbage. I know because, my parents failed me, yada, yada. Or you all act like you're just so superior. It's a weird bag. People have really big feelings, which if you are a homeschooler, if you're thinking about homeschooling, if you have ever even mentioned homeschooling to someone, they have very big feelings about it. And like almost never are they the ones in the trenches of doing it. So I thought, as I try to do pretty often, the whole reason I come here to share is because I couldn't find people like me, who homeschooled like me, who chose homeschool for the same reasons that I did. And so I want to come here and I want to remind you that not all homeschools fit the stereotype. Not all homeschools. Some homeschools are different. My homeschool is different. If you are here watching this, very likely your homeschool is different. Like, I'm going to go out on a limb and I am going to say not all homeschools, but not even most homeschools, okay? And I'm honest with you. I come here and I let you know that this yes queen society that has allowed people to, what I think is, ignore when maybe they should step away. I tell people here all the time that you need to be able to quit. I come here and I advocate for giving your children the best education and shouldering that burden with the gravity that it requires. But I'm a huge fan of homeschool. I'm a huge proponent of homeschool, okay? So I want to come here and I want to share with you, let's dispel some of the myths. Let's break the stereotypes. And I'm very interested to hear down in the comments, let me know, one, beyond socialization, which stereotypes have you been met with? Because I feel like I've been met with every single one on this list. And which ones do you maybe adhere to? Or maybe don't want to. And it's okay. I did no shade, no hate. I just want you to know that some homeschools are different. And if you, like me, feel like your homeschool is different, it didn't fit in with all of the other content creators who shared and did the things, and it just wasn't the same, welcome home. Because I'm pretty sure that if you're here, if you found this, we're the same kind of homeschoolers. We're a similar kind of homeschoolers because every homeschool is unique, different, and should be prized for exactly what it is. So let's get into these things. And I'm gonna go, there's quite a few, so I'm probably gonna go a little rapid fire, and some of them won't require as much explanation as others, but let's jump in. First of all, homeschoolers lack socialization. Nope, just no. No, it's not true. It's not the case. My kids are out in society, which is the root word of socialization, all the time. We never have a week that looks like any other week. We are out, we are about, extracurriculars, all kinds of fun things, out and about in the real world. socializing. Unlike their public school counterparts, they are not stuck in a classroom with kids their own age, frequently their own socioeconomic background, more frequently than that, in a less diverse ethnic makeup. So yeah, they're social. It just is, okay? We are out and about in real life all the time. Homeschooling is only for religious families. This is a big one. Why? Because I do think that it really spawned out of a desire to be able to inject religion into every aspect of your kids' education. However, some of us are secular homeschoolers simply because we wanted our kids to have the best possible education. We don't infuse religion into everything. I literally have had a licensed and operating teacher be completely gobsmacked when she found out that we could homeschool for reasons other than religion. Like, she did not know that those resources existed. And fortunately, they are becoming much more plentiful. So yay for us secular homeschoolers. Homeschoolers are sheltered from the real world. Again, no, we're out, we're doing it. And if you want to come at me with the argument of, but how will they know how to tolerate a bully? I don't want that for my kids. If you want to come to me with the argument, like, how will they learn how to sit still? I have seen with my own eyeballs consistently that because my children are not made to sit still all of the time, when I need them to sit still, they do it without fuss. Frequently, almost every single time I've seen it, much better than their public school counterparts, because again, that battery of sitting still has not been exhausted in an 8-hour school day. So they're going to be fine in the real world. And don't give me that, how will they do things they don't want to do? Because they're humans and they'll understand what needs to be done, but I also am not going to encourage my children, especially my girls, to learn how to do a lot of things they don't want to do. Because, well, that sends a message that I'm not going to send to my children. You do you. Homeschoolers aren't academically prepared. Bull-hooey, okay? I am not going to say this to tout my own horn, because that is not my intent. I will tell you that both of my children are in several things that are above their level. And it is not because I think, yes, I think they hung the moon. They are perfect. They are wonderful. They are my children, but I am biased and I recognize that bias. So I am not going to say that they are, wonderful, the smartest things that ever did. Smart. They're so smart. They're so advanced. They're so wonderful. I'm not going to say that to you. What I'm going to say to you is that I actually think the educational bar has continued to drop. And therefore, are they advanced? They're ahead of the expected level norm for their age, grade level, all of that. That's what I'm going to say. But I think that it is mostly because educational standards have slipped. But that's just my opinion. Homeschool parents aren't qualified to teach. First of all, you are a parent, you're qualified to teach. You are their first teacher. You are going to be their best teacher and their best advocate. If you feel insecure about, I don't have a college education, did you know that? I do not have a college education and I homeschool my children, I would argue quite successfully, because I am smart enough to realize what I don't know, and I have got the hustle enough to search out what is absolutely best for my children, and I am smart enough to know when to quit. So if you are passionate, if you are willing to put in the effort that this takes, outsource when necessary, and quit when you need to, you are absolutely qualified to teach your children. Homeschooling creates social misfits. Absolutely not. If anything, they're not learning the playground Lord of the Flies mentality that comes with only exposure to their same kind. They are not social misfits. They are better prepared for society because they are in society more often. Homeschooling is only for wealthy families. That is something that I'm very passionate about. We have what I would argue is probably a higher homeschool budget than almost all homeschool families I have come across. That is just what works for us, but it is very important to me to come here and share often as I can about free resources, which are amazing. One of which we're using for middle school chemistry, completely free. The Dinos 101 program out of the University of Alberta, Canada, completely free, high quality, stellar educational materials. You can have an amazing homeschool experience. You can provide your children with a stellar education completely free. You just got to put in the hustle, find the resources. Cost should never be a barrier to someone's ability to homeschool. And while I recognize that being able to homeschool is an immense privilege, frequently that comes at an economic cost to the family. So I am all for sharing things. You do not have to be wealthy to homeschool. This life can be for everyone, okay? Homeschoolers can't participate in extracurricular activities. Oftentimes, and in some, maybe most regions, my region at least, they are not welcome to participate in the school-based extracurricular activities. However, my kids are busy with extracurriculars, I think going into this season, 4 days a week. So yes, you can. And honestly, some of my kids' best friendships have been made there. All of their friends, cousins, everybody in our personal life is not homeschoolers. So they're doing just fine. Socially, with extracurriculars, the whole thing. Homeschooling is too isolating. See answer from just 2 seconds ago. And don't get me wrong, I think it is really easy, but even for stay-at-home moms, to be in home and to forget that you should leave it. So it is important. It does take a little bit more intention to get out, a little bit more intention to socialize. But as long as you are doing it, as long as you're putting in any amount of effort, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to do. And I would argue lots of life can be isolating. Like I said, stay-at-home moms, moms of littles, work from home, all of that can be isolating. So again, it's on you to shoulder a little bit of that burden and just get out the house, okay? Homeschooling is easier than traditional schooling. Yes, and also absolutely no. No, why? Why yes? We don't have to be up, dressed, functional, and out the door by 7 a.m. because that honestly every time seems so daunting to me. We don't have to do fundraisers. They don't have to be there all 8 hours of the day. So in that respect, it is easier. Frequently, it is more efficient. And therefore, we do cover what I would argue is more ground in less time, but we don't have to take an hour for lunch. We don't have to take 30 minutes for everybody to get seated. We don't have to take 30 minutes for everybody to go to the bathroom. We don't have to do class changes. Like all of that makes it more efficient because there's less of that kind of extraneous time that is not spent on lessons. And it is more efficient because you're just doing I have one 7th grader, so I'm not trying to get 30 7th graders to understand what we're covering in algebra. It's just the one, so it is more efficient. Now, how is it harder? You're shouldering the burden of your child's education. If you are not putting some serious effort and sweat equity into this, maybe reconsider. It's okay if it's easy for a little while, but if you are not in it, if you're not hustling, if you're not working at homeschooling your kids, pause, reflect, reevaluate, okay? Because it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not hard, but it's not easy, okay? That's what I want to say about that. All homeschoolers follow the same curriculum. Absolutely not. I don't follow the same curriculum. My younger one has done a lot of things differently than I did with my first one, okay? We use an eclectic mix. I've got Timberdoodle kits. I've got Michael Clay Thompson language arts, all about reading language arts. It just, no. That's not true at all. There are a lot of popular curriculums that people will recommend. Build Your Library, The Good and the Beautiful. But you have to find what works for you. And it is okay if, like we do, we use a piece for this piece and another piece for this other piece. Like, just do what works for you. Homeschoolers struggle to get into college. Absolutely not. If you've been here for any period of time, you know that I have had several discussions with David Halafmi over at History for the Ages. He is a college professor who has whole videos on why he loves homeschool students. Colleges are now actively courting homeschool students. Why? Because they're more well-rounded. Why? Because they know how to work independently better, which is more ideal for a college student who's going to be successful. They're also out in the world more. They frequently have more volunteer opportunities. So, no. You can also take your SAT. You can also take your AP classes. You can do dual credit. You can do all of those things, okay? You just have to figure out how, when, and what the college wants, okay? That's it. That's all you have to do. Just like a public school kid, you just have to check the boxes, okay? Homeschooling is only for kids who can't succeed in traditional schools. Absolutely not, okay? My oldest pre-K teacher was like, she's gonna be a teacher's dream. She's so wonderful. That's great. We just didn't try it. It wasn't for us. We wanted her to have the best access to the best education we could possibly provide. Would she do great in a traditional school setting? Absolutely she would. That's just not what we've chosen. That's not what we think is best for her education, because education over socialization, right? Yeah, okay. Homeschoolers are all anti-public school. Now, I got this a lot in feedback on that reel, comments, concerns, yeah. I am a huge fan of the public school. It just wasn't the best path for my kids. It is very important for society. I want it to be fully funded, better funded. I want teachers to have more resources. One of my best friends is a public school teacher. A lot of my family, public school teachers. All of our cousins and friends go to school. I am not against this at all. We need it to serve our community. Our citizens need to have a base level knowledge. Our citizens need child care. Low-income students need access to consistently good breakfast and lunch supplied for them. I'm a huge fan of public schools. I will argue against vouchers because I feel like they undermine public schools. I am a huge fan of public schools, but just because I didn't choose it for my children, one, does not mean that I don't think it's worthwhile and valuable. But I do think that it's not the best course of education for my children. And I do wish that we would revamp the system to allow for things that I think are important, a higher standard of quality education, revamping the idea of standardized testing, giving teachers, one, a livable wage, but also access to resources that they need, like crayons. If teachers were afforded the opportunity to just teach our kids instead of having to consistently worry about if their basic needs are being met, our whole world would change. I'm a huge fan of public schools, and I stay active in what is happening near us. I am not one of those people who wants to not pay my property taxes because we don't use those facilities. Absolutely not. The last thing that I want to do is take more pennies and dimes from the public education system. I'm a huge fan of public school. It serves many, many in our community. It's just not what we chose for us. We have the luxury of doing that. Guys, as you know, we come here, we share because we want to break out of the myth. So whether you have chosen to homeschool, you're thinking about homeschooling, you want to just send this video to somebody so that they can get off of your back, do that. We come here and we share because not all homeschools. Some homeschools are different. I know mine is different. I know yours is different. And I'm going to argue that they all are because every single homeschool is unique to the home and the learner that it is serving. Guys, I hope that you found any of this helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to go down to those comments and let me know what's the stereotype you fit or what's the stereotype that you busted about homeschool. What's the craziest question you've gotten? The craziest thing you've had somebody approach you for. Again, I have had every single one of these thrown at me, but I share on social medias, so it's kind of expected. I would love to hear this. I'm looking so forward to the feedback. Don't forget that Magic Mind has a special offer for you for your mental performance shot to help you fire on all cylinders, just like I have been these last 14 days. So don't forget magicmind.com. Shauna 20 is available to you to give you massive savings on your subscription. Guys, I think that's it. Let's break out of this. Let's bust all these stereotypes. Let's break that homeschool glass ceiling and let people know that we are homeschoolers and we all look different. We all have a wide range of things that we want to cover, a wide range of concerns. Some of us are religious, some of us are secular, some of us are a little of both, some of us are neutral. But all of us have chosen this way of life because we want what is absolutely best for our kids. So as long as you can put in the hustle, as long as you have the passion to make sure that your child is educated, and as long as you know when to outsource or maybe to pivot or quit it, you are going to find success here because your homeschool is breaking these stereotypes. Your homeschool is going to change the world. Why? Because more education will always be the path to a better world. So guys, bye.